Sorry again for talking so close to the microphone. We are not great with this audio setup yet, but we will get good after this episode. We promise.
Welcome to the ZEITGUYS podcast.
Hello, welcome to the ZEITGUYS podcast. My name is Nick.
And my name is Greg. Thank you.
I don't know.
You gave it a long pause, so I gave it a longer pause.
I was like, do you want me to say it? I was
yeah,
like,
it worked
forget?
well. It was beautiful harmony just then. So that's good.
Greg is your name. Okay, Greg.
Yep. Yeah, I hear you got a good one for us
I've
today.
got a good one. It's bananas.
Bananas.
Gwen Stefani said it best.
She did. I'm no Gwen Stefani.
Oh, this theory, let me tell you. So I'll kind of start us off here because I saw this on Twitter. It's a Twitter thread. It's quite long, and normally, kind of like the threads I see on Twitter aren't super great. Some of them are really good. This one grabbed my nuts and just shook them around and just made me feel all giddy.
Just the way you like it.
Really beat me up. Okay.
So it's a long one.
It's a bit of a long one.
Kids.
So I'm going to kind of just read this verbatim because the way the guy describes this is so good. And I will link to this thread because there's photos and a couple videos as well.
Oh, perfect.
So, which just drives it even more crazy. I even went in-depth research when this guy brought up his evidence. I was so enthralled. So, Greg.
So wait. I want to clarify for the listeners at home. Is this a theory that you genuinely believe? Because we talk about a lot of theories that we may or may not believe. We're indifferent most of the time. But I'm curious.
The thing is, I think this theory is too crazy to believe, but it's also too crazy to not believe.
It's so crazy. It just might be true.
I hope I'm not hyping it up too much, but it's the first time I've ever heard of anything like this.
Okay. All right. So yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember the whole world's going to end in 2012 thing?
Oh, yeah. Those are the days. I remember surviving the world ending.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I was sitting on the couch with my, at the time, girlfriend, now wife. We were like, oh, it's almost that time. The time of the day was it was midnight. It was 12 something in the day on 12/21 on 2012.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there and it's nothing happened. I'm like, wow. But Greg, what if I tell you something did happen?
Well, I mean, some things happen. I graduated, high school, so things happened in 2012.
They did, and congratulations on
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
It's a great achievement.
But the thing is, Greg,
senior class president, if anyone's counting. They're not. But
one.
Yep. Just
I counted.
Oh, thanks. All right, go ahead.
So the thing is, what if the world did end in 2012?
I'm listening.
What if the world did end in 2012? And I read this, and even this guy kind of says in his next tweet, "Now hear me out." So this is all his own.
That's what this whole podcast is about. I will hear out any theory.
The fuck up. Okay, here we go. I wanted to talk about this subject for a while now. The other day, I had a random urge to look into it again, and I read some old stuff, just for fun. Ever since I've noticed other people talking about it again. The strangest part is, I cannot find anything online about it anymore. Like I said, you can find people talking about it casually or joking about it, but I cannot find any of the in-depth materials that I had read in the past before 2012.
Wait, materials about this topic or just anything before 2012?
No, about this topic, about the world ending.
I was gonna say, your internet's out.
So
there's a lot of stuff out there.
So people like you and I just did, we were joking about it. But so he looked into it, into it and cannot find any info on it.
Wait, so hold on. So there's no info about the idea that the world was going to end in 2012?
I think so. I think he gets into that here in a sec.
Okay, I'll stop interrupting. Go ahead.
I can't remember, but I think he gets into it. So This has been actually very frustrating for me because I have nothing to refresh my memory while writing this. I found a few things here and there, but they are helping me piece the puzzle together again. But I know there used to be so much more material out there. I can't even remember the first time I've heard this theory. Okay, so I'm sorry. So he can't find anything about the theory that he's about to discuss.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm with you.
I apologize. I got that wrong. He can't find anything about how the world ended in 2012, how it actually ended. Okay. I can't even remember the first time I heard this theory. It's become somewhat of a meme. I did find a video from Max Laffan. How do you pronounce that? Laffan? Laffan? Lachen? Max Lachen, a child genius from YouTube, touches on this theory, but
Wait, is this the little kid with the bow tie? Because I love that kid.
I don't know. I don't know if that's his name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. I said I would stop interrupting.
No, you're good. You're
sorry.
good. This is all what it's about. Discussion. But I don't think he's the first to talk about it. I think it was originally some girl. So did the world actually end in 2012? Well, it was the year the scientists at CERN, CERN, was founded by Higgs boson. Excuse me, I had a little burp there. The particle Steve Hawkins predicted could destroy the universe, or in his own words, cause the universe to undergo a catastrophic vacuum decay. So, the whole particle accelerator thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
I remember everyone was
saying, remember
that
happened? That happened in 2012.
I thought it was earlier. I thought it was like 2010.
I think that they ran. Well, maybe he'll get into it here in a second.
I do remember people talking about that because it was one of those things.
I remember people were freaking out.
Everybody was certain that like when they do you mean like the Large Hadron Collider? Yeah, like they were certain that it was like we're playing with fire. We're going to open up a big black hole and it's going to swallow us up. And I remember all that. Yeah.
So what would happen if we destroy the universe? Would we even know? Maybe Kern accidentally created a black hole that sucked us in without us even noticing. And we have just been living in it. Some physicists actually believe that this is possible. And he posts a few pictures from National Geographic that is an article titled, "Are We Living Inside a Black Hole?" And then a weird picture of an astronaut. There is an old cliche argument that nothing has felt right since 2012. I agree with this. Maybe it has something to do with the growing up or getting older, but ever since then, it seems like the world descends more and more into chaos every day, and even time feels like it's accelerating. Again, that could be just chalked up to people aging.
Right.
There's some sort of calamity happening almost daily. Mass shootings only stay in the headlines for maybe 12 hours. Did we die and all go to hell? I don't really believe in that, but some people do. Maybe we're in a similar situation to the hit NBC show, The Good Place. Have you seen that show?
I have not seen that show. I don't have cable.
It's a funny show.
It looked like, I saw like the previews for the show.
It's basically like, there's no heaven or hell. There's a good place and a bad place. And you're basically like, when you die, you're scored on how good you were to determine.
It's Mormonism.
I guess, but they don't say that. I think they actually joke about that.
Yeah.
So they actually make a joke. Sorry, I'm going off a tangent. So they're like, they're basically in an office and there's a dude in a suit and he's like, "Hey, welcome to the good place. So you were a good person." And they're like, "Wow, so who got it right?" And they're like, "Actually, nobody did except this one guy named Kevin." And he was like, he's framed. And it's framed and the plaque says the guy who almost got it.
That's funny.
He says he was a stoner pothead who was 16. He perfectly described it but left out one little detail, so couldn't give him the prize, but he came very close. Okay, continuing. Like I've said before, I think we live in a series of simulations. Perhaps the universe was destroyed by Kern, and our collective consciousness was moved into the parallel universe next door. It would almost be identical. In fact, there are people out there who are reporting small differences in this reality. And one of them before 2000, And hang on. Sorry, I messed that up. In fact, people are saying out there they're reporting small differences in this reality and the one they remember before 2012. So they're the difference between the years.
Oh, like the Mandela effect.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says.
Yeah.
Such as the Mandela effect, and then he shows a picture of the Berenstein and the Berenstain Bears, the classic.
Or like how Eminem died in a car crash in like 2006. Actually remember that one. Like Eminem has died in a car accident, and then
I don't remember
totally
that
didn't.
one, but
I remember that one. That was weird, man. Or wait, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't Eminem. Who was it? It might have been Eminem. I don't know. It was. I do remember that though.
Okay, this guy brings up a few more Mandela effects. I also remember people saying Febreze rather than Febreze. So he spells Febreze with the breeze has 2 E's, but it's actually spelled with 1 E instead of 2 E's. Febreze.
I thought it was always 1 E.
Yes, but some people remember it with 2.
Oh, I see.
Or some people remember Skechers with a T instead of Skechers without a T, like TCH.
Well, yeah, but I feel like that's just kind of the way it's pronounced. Like you would expect a T there.
Yeah, but there's not.
Yeah, there's not. But I just feel like
Or how J.C. Penney had a E before the Y, or how it didn't have an E before the Y, but it does. People remember that.
Oh,
so some of these might be chalked up to just bad grammar, but
yeah.
Or how Looney Tunes was spelled LUNEYTUNES, but it's actually spelled LOO or LOONEY, loony, and not with a U. But some people remember it with a U instead.
Well, and this is just because it's part of the podcast.
Because that would make sense with the tunes part.
Well, tunes is for cartoons, which is TOONS. So, I'm doing this because it's the podcast. The whole thing is like, you're skeptical of things, but so like Looney Tunes, like a loon, LOON, and cartoon, TOON makes way more sense than like tunes like TUNE.
Yeah, but it is TUNE.
Wait, whoa, hold on.
That's how it actually is.
Hold on.
That's the real logo right here.
So it's spelled LOONEYTUNES?
Yes.
That's the actual logo?
That's the actual logo.
Whoa, dude, you just sold me on this theory. Whoa.
Okay. So
I thought I had you there for a sec. Man, what the heck? That makes no sense at all.
Yeah, because
What?
So continuing, then he talks about Nelson, the actual Nelson Mandela reason why this effect exists.
That's why it's named the Mandela effect, that he supposedly died in the 90s.
So he then continues, but the Mandela effects get even creepier though. Some people remember the Statue of Liberty being on a different island.
I heard this theory, not from this thread, but I did hear that someone said that the Statue of Liberty was actually on Ellis Island when it's not.
Yes, because it's actually on Liberty Island.
Yeah, it's on its own island.
Yes. Here's a painting clearly depicting the statue on Ellis Island with no other islands nearby.
No, let me see. Okay, but anyone might have done that painting.
Yeah, it's a painting, so how reliable
if he
is
attributes that to like an artist, like, in the 1920s.
Yes. Yeah, he says, was the artist not paying attention? Does he think that it's better this way than it actually is for the painting's sake? I don't think anyone really knows. But if that's not strange enough, if you go to Google Maps Street View right now, there's a few specific areas of Liberty Island where the Statue of Liberty is gone.
I think we need to go to Google Maps Street View right now.
He gave us pictures.
Oh, that works too. We see weird stuff on Google Maps a lot too, because of they use that orbital camera.
True.
And so,
yeah, but this is a walking path. So these were taken by because people can add photos to Street View. This is just a photo taken by a dude.
No, that's weird.
I mean, it's the same dude and it's an old I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a little skeptical of that, but
okay,
the Looney Tunes thing is still getting me.
Okay, he goes into the uploader of the photos. The account uploading these strange pictures goes by the username Augustine Bartoli. Bartholdi. That is the designer of Lady Liberty herself.
Wait, sorry, what were you about to say?
I don't know.
Sounded like you were about to use a dirty word.
Lady Liberty.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was going to say. The account also sports his picture from the 1800s. He's Google approved. So this guy There's an account for the guy that created the Statue of Liberty. Uploaded the pictures where the Statue of Liberty is not in it.
Time travel.
Apparently, right before the United States entered World War I, the Germans committed the first act of treasonism on the U.S. soil. It was considered one of the largest artificial non-nuclear explosives to have ever occurred, and I'm wondering why we don't hear about this in school.
Wait, is this a true fact? Like, because I don't know about this. This is World War I, that the Germans actually hit us?
Yes.
And this, like...
There is a newspaper clipping. It's a, I don't, what does it say?
It says big munitions explosion at Black Tom, 50 believed dead, 21 hurt in City Hospital, damage $75 million. Wow, that looks like a real newspaper, actually.
So I'll look up into that here in a sec.
Here, wait, what's the name of the newspaper? I just want to look it up.
The Jersey Journal.
The Jersey Journal. Let me see if that exists. Jersey Journal is a daily newspaper published from Monday through Saturday covering news and events throughout Hudson County.
First issue is 1867, so it was definitely around.
What date was that? I just want to find that article.
Let's see if I can read it. I can't read what the date was. Maybe search German attack World War I.
Hey, let me try.
Black
Tom explosion. Let's see. I found a Wikipedia. Was an act of sabotage by German agents to destroy U.S.-made munitions that were to be supplied to the Allies in World War I. The explosions, which occurred on July 30th, 1916 in the New York harbor, destroyed some $20 million worth of military goods. This incident, which happened prior to the U.S. entry into World War I, also famously damaged the Statue of Liberty.
Holy crap!
I'm going to need you to keep going.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. So anyway, this explosion is the reason the Statue of Liberty's torch is closed to the public. It's been closed for over 100 years. There's only one problem, though. People remember going there all the time.
People told me... My grandfather's from New York. He told me that they would go up... What the heck?
There are pictures taken from the torch. There's also reviews of people who have been in the torch. Now, these, I'm not saying these are legit. They could be Photoshopped.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe, because you can go into the crown.
Right.
So I'm wondering if maybe people like were in the crown and thought they were in the torch. Because, I mean, when you're inside, it's like hard to get your bearings.
I mean, this tweet is from 2013 and says bird's eye view from inside the torch of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, that's weird, man.
I don't know. But again, I will link this Twitter thread in the show notes.
You guys should all read this and look at all the photos.
And this guy said, I found these pictures taken within the torch. Creepy. Were they time travelers? And he says, lol. There's also this weird Twitter account called @StatueEllis Fund or Statue Ellis Foundation, which makes no mention of Liberty Island at all and sports a creepy banner photo of people walking upstairs to nothing. Like, why is that there?
I feel like that was just someone made that account just to freak people out.
That could be the case.
Because people do weird stuff like that on the internet.
And last but not least, there's this YouTube video, a collection of Facebook photos where people have tagged their location at the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. However, people are posting in front and staring at nothing.
That is unsettling.
I'm very tempted. I'm going to pull up this video right now. I haven't actually watched this one. Now,
to be fair, anyone could just take a bunch of photos that people took at any landmark, Photoshop the landmark out, and put a montage together of people staring at nothing, or like some people do that just for fun. Like someone goes to the Leaning Tower of Pisa and they pretend to be holding it up and they Photoshop the tower out, and the people just look like idiots, So that could be what's going on here. I don't know.
A Facebook group member posted a plaque on her grandma's wall. She had made a donation. Notice the Immigration Museum in black of the statue here. The Immigration Museum is located on Ellis Island. Well, because I know Ellis Island was an immigration island, right?
Right, yeah. The Immigration Museum is on Ellis Island, though.
Right. So, I mean, I get people know that people came into Ellis Island and could have attributed the statue to being on that island, but it's still weird.
It is. It's still a little weird.
Well, anyway. Okay, moving on from that.
The Black Tom explosion is weird that we hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, because they always talk about like Pearl Harbor being the first attack, and especially it was by the Germans.
This was 1916. This is well before Pearl Harbor.
Well, anyway, a while back there was a viral thread on 4chan posted by someone who claimed to be one of the 23 scientists at CERN responsible for creating the Mandela effect. They claim the planet was destroyed and we have been placed in a simulated world. Now we're getting kind of crazy.
Getting a little crazy.
However, the thing I thought was the most interesting was whosoever this person was described reality as being a set of Russian dolls, where there are worlds nestled within another, or like we've been talking about, simulations within simulations. The idea of simulations within simulations, or the multiverse is not something new. It has been a part of Eastern philosophy since the 3rd century. And here's a quote from a man named Alan Watts.
Alan Watts was, for people not in the know, Alan Watts is a British man who is credited with bringing Buddhist philosophy to the Western world.
Okay. Imagine a multidimensional spider's web in the early morning covered with dewdrops. And every dewdrop contains a reflection of all the other dewdrops. And in each reflected dewdrop, the reflections of all other dewdrops in that reflection, and so ad infinitum. The Buddhist, or that's the Buddhist conception of the universe in an image. It also is kind of the same thing of the turtles all the way down myth. You've heard of that one? Like
we should explain the turtles all the way down myth really quick.
So it's basically like if the world was on a giant turtle, that turtle is also on another turtle, and then that turtle's on another turtle, and then it's just turtles forever. Yeah,
I'll be honest, I never got why it had to be turtles.
I think it's just an easy way to understand, or I don't know, there's something from mythology about turtles. Since they live for so long, I think it's because they're like a giant turtle could be that lives forever on its back or whatever. I don't know.
I'll have to look back into that one again. But sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. But anyway, besides the Mayans, there were some other people who predicted 2012 would be the end. One of these people was Terence McKenna. Well, he didn't necessarily believe 2012 would be the end, but he predicted that the world would be in some sort of reality rearranging event. He made this prediction using his time wave zero formula, which supposedly mathematically decodes the King Wen sequence of the I Ching into something that graphs like the fractal patterns of history. What the heck did I just read? So basically, it's like what's the fractal patterns that keep repeating into themselves.
Yeah.
So I think he decoded that or something.
So he basically takes the Mayan calendar and breaks it into the mathematical sequence and uncovers fractals.
I think so, yes. The graph accumulates at a singular point of infinite complexity. To better understand this concept, imagine a tape wound up in a spiral. You find inside a VHS tape. Time goes round and round, and eventually smaller and smaller loops until eventually the tape runs out.
It's like the Fibonacci sequence, except in the Fibonacci sequence, you never reach the end because everything is being halved by itself, and so there's infinite. Right. Like you can't ever reach zero.
Is there another meaning to the end of time? Preston B. Nichols, a supposed whistleblower who wrote books detailing time travel experiments at the Monarch Air Force Base, claimed that they were never able to time travel past 2012 because they could find no future beyond it.
And when did he claim this?
It doesn't say when, but
okay, because if that was in
it was a man named Preston B. Nichols.
If that was in 2001, that would be interesting.
We can look up Preston B. Nichols here.
Let's just dig a little deeper here. Preston B. Nichols.
He was a whistleblower from a Air Force base. So,
was he part of the Montauk Project?
Yeah, the Montauk Air Force Base.
Okay, yeah, I've read about the Montauk. We could do a whole thing about the Montauk Project. Actually,
I've never heard of that. So that could be.
It's a conspiracy theory. Basically, okay. So, all right. Here's what the common understanding is that Preston Nichols is an author, and he wrote a book called The Montauk Project: Experiments in Time, and it's supposed to be a novel, but the theory is that these are actually real, true events. And in the Montauk Project, you'll see there are a lot of spooky things that happen. You know, you've got the teleportation where people were like, a whole ship was teleported and it came back and people were like trapped inside the like metal of it and stuff, like weird stuff. But okay, yeah, I know who Preston B. Nichols is now.
All right. So this is still pretty long, so I'm going to keep going.
Right, keep going.
According to him, there was a very abrupt wall there. There was nothing on the other side. Basically, there's a wall at 2012. Whether he's a crackpot or not, what I find interesting is he did this interview in 2014.
Oh.
Like, it's just strange the things to say considering you've already made it past that date.
You're right. The first book in the series was published in 1992. And at that point, he was saying they could never go past 2012.
Right. But now he's giving interviews saying like, oh, well, this is real, but it's 2014 at this point. Stranger Things and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind are actually both loosely based on these experiments.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a great movie, underrated.
It's a great movie.
Yep. And they do go to Montauk. That's true.
There's also a theory floating around that we've also reached the end of history. The end of history is a philosophical idea that has been talked about by such noble figures such as Hegel, Marx, and most recently Francis Fukuyama, who's still alive. Or he's very young, actually. At the end of history, events still happen, but humanity has reached its end and its socio-cultural evolution. This theory has nothing to do with time travel or simulations, but rather the stagnation of the human process. I just find it fitting that people think that this is happening. It kind of fits the dreamlike purgatory theme. It's the theory I find the most when I'm trying to research this topic of the world having already ended. If you think fourth dimensionally or beyond linear time, we could say that the universe has already ended. The moment it began. The end was already set in stone. Perhaps the universe is in a constant cycle of expanding and contracting. The Big Bang and the Big Crunch are happening over and over, and our souls are just taking a ride on the cosmic Ferris wheel.
Now that's a bold claim.
Well, that's where he ends.
That's where he ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bold claim. I'll say it's very interesting. And it's as a theory, it's so philosophical that it can't really be proven or disproven.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like, well, you can't prove me wrong, but we can't prove you right either. So I guess.
I will say, using the Montauk Project as a source, because I'm pretty confident this was written as a novel. But it's written as a first-person novel, right? Basically, he's detailing the experiments that he was supposedly a part of. But, you know, there are those people that'll write certain stories just to give you the feel that it really happened. You know, like they intentionally build up this world, and the idea, like everyone kind of plays along with it. Kind of like like I said, when I was using Reddit, one of the subreddits was No Sleep, r/No Sleep.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I love No Sleep.
Yeah, and everyone plays, like, obviously everything that's written in there is just it's another story, you know. It's like these are short, scary stories, but everyone plays along as if it's real because that's just part of the world that they've created. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's more fun if it's
more fun if you pretend it's real.
real.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what the Montauk Project is, but that can be discussed. Basically, that could be another Minesweeper segment, actually, because people have brought up the USS Eldridge. That's the Philadelphia experiment, which is mentioned in the Montauk Project book. That's the one I was talking about with the teleportation, the people being trapped inside the metal and stuff, and weird stuff. Some people were inside out. Like kind of a who's that writer? The guy who came up with Cthulhu.
Oh, Lovecraft.
Yeah, it's like Lovecraftian almost. I could do a whole Minesweeper about that, but I'll do that later. So. Yeah, we'll kind of leave you with that theory. That's a big theory of anything and everything. And
it's a lot. It's a lot.
I've been real quiet because I'm still dealing with the Looney Tunes thing.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly.
You thought.
I was so sure, man. My mind has been swept.
Honestly, the Ellis Island thing kind of freaked me out because I swear I was taught like in school that Ellis Island was the island the Statue of Liberty was on.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I never really thought too much about the Ellis Island thing. The Black Tom explosion's a little weird though, that no one ever mentioned that was actually the first attack on mainland soil in the modern era, like since the United States has
caused
been a
the
country.
torch to be closed for 100 years. It's never been available to go inside as
Never
the public.
been reopened.
But
and
yet,
and yet, you know, like I said, my grandfather was from New York, and I've heard that
he's been in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or
he's dead now. I can't ask him.
Okay.
But
well, I want you to call him.
we got to hold a seance real quick.
Well, let me get my Ouija board.
That's how it works. I can talk about Ouija boards too. Yeah, there's a lot. We can go a lot of directions.
There's a lot
in
of
this
places.
podcast.
Like everything opens another door. But like the Montauk thing, I honestly didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know anything about this.
Oh, I've read into that extensively because when I first heard about it, I thought like, what? That's interesting.
So like Montauk is a real.
Montauk's a real place.
We'll talk about it in another video.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah, I've I started off this whole show by saying there are places that are not real places. Montauk is a real place. It's just what happened there, we don't really know.
All right. Well, with that, we're closing this one out. That was it's a big one, wasn't it?
That was a big one. It's gonna keep you guys thinking. It might keep me awake tonight, but we will see you guys in the next one.
Yep. Goodbye. Sweet dreams. Kisses.